Welcome to the next video in my Azure Active Directory identity video series. And this is the Engage with Customers and Partners video and the third pillar in the architecture. Now, this is one of my favorite topics because we're talking about providing external users, whether it's your business partner or your actual customers or your vendor, we're talking about providing them access to your internal environment and collaborating on things or logging into a web portal and getting access to data. And now, before, if you were doing this, you would often have different systems. You'd have, Active Directory for your employees. You'd have a different identity system for your business partners, maybe a different identity system for your customers to log in with. Well, tomorrow we're changing that by allowing Azure Active Directory to be that control plane that manages all three of those identities. So I don't have to have separate systems. And this is where we want to simplify identity for any external user. Look, I want to be able to enable you to collaborate with your partners and suppliers and vendors and distributors with ease. Invite them to a team in Microsoft Teams as a guest. Invite them to a SharePoint site. Work on data with them and collaborate. But I also want to allow your customers to be able to have sign-up experiences and sign-in experiences to be able to maybe log into your web portal and do something with your company and then appropriately represent your brand. And then obviously we want to make sure this is scalable across the globe to hundreds of thousands, and millions of customers and identities that are trying to access your web properties. And that's where Azure Active Directory B2B and B2C come into play. Now, Azure Active Directory, and we're talking about B2B in this context, business to business allows me to collaborate with my external business partners. So I can invite them to a team in Microsoft Teams as a guest or to a SharePoint site as a guest. Heck, I could even invite them to collaborate with me in one of my on-premises apps as well, which is pretty interesting. And when they do that, I can allow them to use either Azure Active Directory as the identity provider, or they can log in with their Facebook account or Google account, or even Windows Live or Hotmail account or Microsoft account. And then the other part of this is bring in your own identity, as I mentioned, using one of those consumer identity accounts to log in with. Now that's creating a flexible user experience, and that starts with that authentication experience. And bring your own identity is where you can sign up or sign in using whatever identity you want, or maybe you already have. And so leveraging that existing identity can be huge for the end user experience. And this is a pretty big capability in my opinion. Now, this also allows me to still have my employees log in using their existing identity, and then of course my business partners as well. But it's flexible to allow you to use whatever identity you want to use. Okay, and again, this is just an overview. I'll dive deeper into B2B and B2C later on in other videos. Now, another key element of this, as I mentioned, was user experience. And you want to customize that user experience journey. And so that's where we want to be able to provide branded registration and a branded login experience to have a consistent look and feel that aligns with your company's brand. And then a self-service sign up, so users don't need to wait for an invitation and they don't need to wait for all of the approvals. And then your admin or developers in the app can then enable integration with maybe Google and Facebook IDs in addition to the current set of identity providers. And so once those are integrated, the experience can be updated continuously and customized without having to change any code in your app or in your website. So this is pretty awesome. And then using user custom attributes to customize and localize the user experience collected during sign-up. And that helps you feel insights and reduce friction later on for those first-time users. Now, what I really love about this is, again, it's using Azure Active Directory as that control plane for no matter who the user is. And that's where we can enforce things like zero trust and conditional access policies. So if you're coming in as a guest to my environment, we're going to treat you differently. And we're going to put you on rails and control that experience. Maybe require multi-factor authentication, require that you're only able to browse on the website and not download anything. A number of different controls we could put into place, auditing everything that happens, monitoring all of it, and ensuring compliance. Okay, so that's a little bit of an overview of kind of are the possible. We'll have another video where I go deeper into Azure AD, B2C, and B2B. So in the next video, we're going to talk about accelerating the adoption of your applications using Azure AD. So we'll see you in the next video.